Hey, Ross, I'm going to need an extra minute for that one, okay, buddy? I'm going to need an extra minute for that one. So, I want to first, obviously, I want to thank the leaders. I want to thank Roger Short, and Schles, and some of the folks who came up here, and Ray, and, the folks who came up here over the course of the weekend and taught us money-generating activities. Because that's why we came here this weekend. That's why we left our families. That's why we left our children. That's why we did the necessary sacrifices that we needed to do this weekend to come on out to Atlanta, was so that we could learn how to take these generating activities and bring them back to our marketplace and get to work. Isn't that correct? Well, can we all agree with that statement? That's why we came, right? So obviously I'd like to thank, Matt and Tommy and Larry and obviously Mr. John Kite. When I first met John Kite, there's one thing that stuck with me from the day I met him, and I actually sent him a text message with it the other night, and he said something very profound in his North Carolina accent, and you're either broke on money or you're broke on time, but broke is broke. Love that. Love that. And so my background is actually, I have an extensive background in building teams. It's my passion, it's my heart. It's what I really enjoy, is being able to help others. I really enjoy getting an opportunity to be able to watch other people flourish. Taking somebody who has a parenthesis in their bank account and being able to put them in a positive sign moving forward. That's what it's all about. And that's what I saw in Securus when I first got started. Now, my background is actually in higher education, building teams, in proprietary education, and about 3 years ago, I got introduced to network marketing. And I believe that network marketing was an absolute blessing in my life. It was an absolute blessing in my life because it allowed me to change my mindset. It allowed me to change who I was. It allowed me to become a better sorter of people. And so I wouldn't be able to be standing here today in front of all of you fine individuals if I didn't have that background in network marketing, because it taught me a lot, and it's been an absolute blessing to my wife and I. I don't have an addicted personality. I'm not addicted to alcohol or drugs or gambling or anything like that. Here's what I'm addicted to: residual income. And if you don't know what that addiction's like, I suggest you get addicted. Get an addiction, residual income, passive income, being able to help a lot of people along the way, and eventually everything will begin to fall into place for yourself. And I'd like to tell a quick story about how I became into the Securus family. And I think everybody doesn't know specifically how I came here today. Only Michael Hall knows. And I'll make this very brief. I got recruited into that other company that you all talk about all weekend, okay? Called the dark side, whatever you want, okay? No, nobody knows me from that company because I kept it very hush-hush, because I just wanted to see what it was all about. And what I did was, this is my first 30 days at that other company. I was only there for exactly 30 days I was there. And the woman who recruited me, she was out of Utah. I didn't know her. She didn't know me. I grilled her for 3 days about what that was all about. I told her it was network marketing. She said it wasn't. I said, what's the startup fee? She said there's no fee to get started. You just have to get a license. I said, I'm not interested. So I'm not interested. I'm not interested in selling insurance. She goes, you don't have to. All you have to do is go out there and help people. I said, all right, I'll try. I printed off the applications off the carrier's website. I didn't have any business cards. I didn't have any brochures. I didn't have a clue what was going on. I went and I paid for all these leads. I went out there, and in 30 days, I did 18 policies for $24,000 in premium. Okay? So, I didn't know what was going on. Now you have to understand, I was coming home to my wife, and I was telling her, listen, I don't know exactly what's going on here, but money's going into our bank account, and I don't understand what I'm doing out there. But here's what I noticed in my first 7 days. And this is the truth. First 7 days, true story. I turned to my wife and I said, we can make a lot of money doing this. We can help a ton of people do this. I can teach anybody to do this thing, because if I'm out here doing it, I can teach anybody how to do it. I just don't think that these are the people that I want to do it with. See, if it's rotten at the top, it's going to be rotten at the bottom. 100%. And this thing is fantastic at the top. So I didn't realize, this is how ignorant I was, I didn't realize that there was other IMOs that were just like that other one. So I just kind of sat out for about 2 months. So I did what I did in 30 days, and then I stopped. I only got paid on about 14, actually, my first 10 policies, I had to go back. They got amendments. I didn't know what was going on. I had to go back to every single person I saw and had to get them redone. And I wound up getting paid on a bunch of, about 14 of those policies, and then I just stopped. Because I didn't think that I wanted to be in a partnership with people who didn't have what I was looking for out of an organization. Brings us to today. A gentleman had called me and said, "Are you still doing that insurance thing?" I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "I tried it, I liked it, but I'm not with the right people." He said, "I want you to talk to a friend of mine, his name's Michael Hall." And when I met Mike, we sat down, we had breakfast, and the rest is history. I got started in October 16th. I didn't begin recruiting in this until March. I brought 2 people with me in Orlando that were friends of mine, and I brought them with me to Orlando, and I said, "Hey, listen, if you like this, let's start to build it together." And today, we were able to bring the 12 people with us here to Atlanta. We've had people like Luke and Ashley, and Joey in Texas, and Mark Robinson, and Paul and Janine, and Brian. Brian Williams, he just got contracted while he was driving here from PA. Took time away from his family to come here. Okay? And I want to thank Brian for doing that, for coming here this weekend and taking time to learn how to do these activities. I want to thank Nick Horner, driving 14 hours from Chicago. I want to thank my team. And here's what I'll share with everybody here today. If you want to bring an army with you, there's a couple key things that you're going to need to do, like Mr. John Kite talked about. Your next 48 to 72 hours are going to be the most crucial point of your business. Because you have excitement today, but reality sets in 48 hours when you get back home. And here's a couple key tips that I can give you that is going to allow you to begin to build your army. And one of those tools, and I like to refer to them as tools, one of the tools that you'll use, and this is actually the #1 tool that you're going to have in your toolbox, is the convention. The convention is the #1 tool you'll have. Here's the second tool that you should take advantage of. It's something called a 3-way call. And if you don't know what a 3-way call, get with your upline and ask them how to do a 3-way call. If you don't know how to do it on your phone, call your carrier. They'll explain to you how to do it. And here's how a 3-way call works. It's going to be the most crucial part of your business. What you want to do is you want to peek somebody into what you're doing. And here's how I like to peek people. I like to ask them a simple question. Do you look at other ways of making money? It's a yes or no question, right? Do you look at other ways of making money? Are you open to another opportunity? Do you look at other things sideline to what you're doing? See, I'm not looking to take somebody away from what they're actually currently doing. I just want to know if you're open. And if you are, I want to get myself out of the way, and I want to get an edified expert to explain it to you. See, I don't live in Chicago, and I don't live in Texas, and I don't live in Delaware, and I don't live in New York. These are the areas of operation that we have currently right now in our organization. And my team is getting really good at doing 3-way calls. So you want to peek, you want to say, I'm working with a man or a woman who's having a ton of success, they're in financial services, I don't have all the information they do, let me see if I can get a hold of them, they're incredibly busy, I know that they're expanding a multi-million-dollar company all over the country, but I want to see if I can get a hold of them for 5 minutes, take some time and explain to you exactly what it is that they're doing. So get yourself out of your way, out of your own way, get your edified expert, your upline, on the 3-way call with this person, and we will move them to action. We will move them into license coach. We will move them into a webinar. We will move them into something that will allow them to get the information without having them to have you drill you with questions. Does that make sense to everybody? Because if you're new, is there any brand new people in the room, like brand new? About half the room here is brand new. So what's going to happen is questions are going to come. You don't want to be the one to answer the questions, because questions are good. That means they're interested. But if you don't know the answers, they may say, no, not now. So we're just looking for people who say, yes, I'm open to other ways of making money. See, sorting for leaders is fun. Convincing people, now that's draining. That is draining. You know, they say in the Bible, they say you want to what? Be like a child. Be like a child. What are children like? You know, the reason why I'm doing this business is because of my beautiful wife and my 2 beautiful children. I don't have a story of heartache or Thank God I don't have a story of tragedy or anything like that as to why I'm doing this business. My why is really straightforward. I like living in a nicer zip code. I like wearing nice clothes, driving a nice car, putting my kids in a nice school, being able to live a lifestyle that I wasn't accustomed to growing up. And I'm young enough right now to know and realize that I have a future ahead of me that is going to be something that I can't even possibly imagine what God has mapped out for me. But I know that this is the starting point. And I know that it's the starting point for my team. Because Nick Horner was the perfect example of that last night. So I just want to give you an example, and then my time's going to be up. Here's how you want to sort for leaders. Think like a child. I have a 5-year-old little girl. Her name's Aubrey Rose. And Aubrey Rose loves Barbies. She just loves the Barbies. She loves the dolls, okay? She will actually go bananas over these toys. Now here's what I'll share with you. If I took a Barbie doll in front of 300 people here, and I put it underneath one of your chairs, and I said, Aubs, all you have to do is find the Barbie and it's yours. Would she not go through every single person in the room? Do you have the doll? 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 Do you have the right? Until what? Until she found the doll. But what do we do as adults? Do you look at other ways of making money? I don't. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't look at other ways? You know what? Why don't we go out to lunch, we'll talk about it, and we'll see if maybe you look at other ways of making money, right? Because we're trying to convince people to do something that they're not programmed to do, which is okay. Be a good sorter of people, and this will become a lot easier for you, okay? So that's my time that I have here this evening. I hope that you were able to get a little bit out of that. Here's what I'll share with you. Passive residual income does not come from standing in that S quadrant. John Kite made a joke earlier about how I called him up and went, John, listen, I don't know how to tell you this, but I don't know if I'm really interested about talking about death all day. I'm just not. So how do I get myself away from the death conversation? So build a team. Well, that makes sense. So become good at sorting for leaders. Look for people like you. Are you somebody that you would recruit? That's another thing. See, this company's the same for everybody. The products are the same. The IE loves are the same. The final expense is the same. The carriers are the same. The leads are the same. In every state that you operate in, the leads are the same. Here's the X factor. You. What about you? What are you doing to change? What books are you reading? What are you listening to in your car? What are you doing to invest in yourself to make you more attractive? Because that's how this universe works. It's the law of attraction. And are you somebody who's attractive? Would you want to work with you? Would you want to lead you? That's the question that you want to ask yourself. And if you are, fantastic. Continue to stay on the same pace. If you're brand new, these are just the little necessary things that you need to do in order to start to build your team. So I hope that was helpful for everybody. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get myself out of the way. I'm going to bring up the next speaker. He's the reason why I'm here today. He's a selfless individual. He's got a heart of gold. Absolutely love this gentleman. I gave him such a hard time in the beginning when I was coming into this. Man, I just love how he was able to teach me how to do this so that I could go back and teach, all the other people in my team. He's first and foremost